Hey car enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're all well and I hope you're having a great day. My name is Keith and welcome to my new YouTube channel, Rev and Restore. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you an introduction to my most recent purchase, a 2004 TVR Tamora. It is a truly awesome car. So we'll cut to some battery shots and then I'll explain a little bit more detail. But thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's video. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed those battery shots. I think it's a truly very pretty car. I'm not so keen on the back and I think that sort of splits opinion quite a bit because it's got a bit of a big bum on it. But actually it's quite a small car when you look at it. It's very low down. As you can see, sat beside a classic Mini, the classic Mini looks bigger. So yeah, quite a compact car. So under the bonnet we have TVR's own Speed 6 engine. So that is a 3.6 litre inline 6 producing 341 brake horsepower. And as you can see, the engine is mounted behind the front wheels. So in terms of centre of gravity and handling and that sort of thing, it's almost a rear wheel drive front engine, but not quite front, sort of mid-engined car. So yeah, fantastic engine that. It's on independent throttle bodies. It roars, it sounds amazing. There's some real theatre when you go out and drive it. You will also notice, or you may not notice if you don't know, but on this car, the bonnet has been modified. So on all standard TVR Tamoras, when they come out the factory, the bonnet hinges from the front of the car and up that way. The problem is you cannot get, or it's very, very difficult with a bonnet hinge that way to get to things like your oil, your coolant, your screen wash and your power steering fluid. Like all TVRs, this is a fiberglass body mounted on a tubular steel powder coated chassis. So it's very, very light. It actually weighs 1,060 kilos, which gives it an awesome power to weight ratio. This car will do the 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds and the top speed is quoted as being over 170 miles an hour. But quite honestly, I'm not sure I would want to find that out because, as in true TVR fashion, it doesn't have much in the way of driver aids. In fact, it has barely anything. So there is no traction control, there is no stability control, there is no ABS. You are all on your own. It does, however, have power steering, but it's very, very gentle power steering, so you don't lose any of the feel when you're driving it. However, having done a few miles in it now, I've got to say the power delivery is pretty smooth. And again, it doesn't have traction control, but it does benefit from A trait which is the same on a lot of the TVRs is that the pedal travel is very, very long. It's probably 2 to 3 times longer than a standard car. So when you're driving it, you do have very, very fine throttle control. This car has done 45,000 miles and the interior of the car is just beautiful. We get this lovely bespoke instrument gauges and dashboard there, and you can select through various different menus to find out the driving information you need. All the inside, this is all handcrafted leather. Typically, TVR like to do things a bit different. So you look inside this cabin and it's very rare that switchgear is ever labelled to what it does. I mean, just look at the dashboard, for instance. We've got the speed on the left-hand side, which goes from 0 to 20. And we've got the rev counter on the right-hand side, which goes 0 to 9. There's no red line or anything shown on there, although we do have shift lights on there. But the red line on this car, or the red shift light, this engine revs to 7,200 RPM. So it really does scream if you want it to. But quite honestly, it's also quite a torquey engine. So unless you want to drive it really hard, you can get what you need out of it just with far less revs than needs be. Gearbox, gear lever is very, very short, and you're literally straight onto the gear selectors there. It feels very, very positive. Inside the car, like I say, you get lots of switches and things that are just not labelled. You have to read the manual to try and work out what things do. And again, in TVR fashion, we have no door locks. We don't even have door handles on the outside. If you want to open the door, there's a little button underneath the mirror. Press that and the door opens. And then inside, when you want to get out, again, there's no door handles or buttons or anything like that to lock or open the doors. You have to look inside to buttons that are not marked. So this is the door right hand side, and that's the door left hand side. So the car's on 18-inch wheels all round. On the back we have 235/40 18s, and as we come around the back of the car, you'll see what I mean maybe by me saying it's got a bit of a fat bum. Yeah, not everyone is keen on this, but I think for me it doesn't take long to get used to. Again, quirky TVR. If we want to open the boot, you just push the badge. The boot is quite big, but as you can see, the roof panel fits inside the boot and does still take up most of the boot, but you do still have room for bags if necessary as you need them. And when you want to refuel, the fuel cap is again hidden away inside the boot there. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed the introduction to my TVR Tamora. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up and share it so other people get to see the video as well. If you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. You might have noticed there are some classic minis behind me in the background. So I actually run another YouTube channel dedicated to classic minis and classic mini restoration. It's called Classic Mini Workshop, if you want to go and check that out if you don't already. So I'll be back soon for more videos on the TVR Tamora, and we'll be introducing some other cars on the channel as well. But thanks for tuning back in. I will catch you again on the next one. Have a great week.